All right, aloha, my friends, and welcome to another Aloha Friday drip with, well, Tyler Deveraux, that's me.
And I'm Jackson Campbell. I'm here as well. I'll be conducting this interview today.
Let's do it, dude. Let's dive into this thing. Hey, if you are not familiar with how the flow goes, yeah, I'm stealing from you, bro.
Do it, dude. No, go.
I was waiting for your, I was waiting for your like,
Stealing my part.
Here's how the flow goes. Dallas, the man Pruitt. I don't know why the man.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Dallas, the mindset dude Pruitt. Yeah, we're gonna work on the middle name there, Dal. I apologize.
Yeah.
He drops mindset drips, 3 to 5 minute drips into your ear hole every single day, Monday through Thursday. They're fantastic. But y'all already know that because I'm sure you listen to them all the time. Then we do an Aloha Friday drip with Jackson and me.
Yeah.
And then we've been doing some interviews lately.
Those have been fun, dude.
Super
Those have
fun,
been
bro.
So awesome to listen to.
Yeah.
So awesome.
I've loved interviewing them.
Big one coming. There's a
with
big,
Zasha.
big interview coming.
Which, by the time you're listening to this one, that one with Zasha will have already dropped. But it was a great one, man.
It was, dude.
Loved having her in office for sure. Having Fia as well.
So awesome.
Fia, by the way, if you're listening, I think you should pronounce it Faya because you are Faya, my friend. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's fun. And then Saturdays, we do an extended cut with Dallas, wherever you are, Dallas.
And me.
And Jackson.
Yeah.
And I freaking love those two. You guys dissect something that Dallas has, some mindset principles that Dallas has spoken about throughout the week typically.
Yeah, or something that somebody sends us.
Yeah.
So along those lines.
Can I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Somebody sends. But let me say this one thing.
Yeah.
I walk in the office today. They're recording their extended cut, and I'm here. I'm like, all right, man. What are we talking about today? How should we? What are you talking? Let's do it. Let's do it. I love it. You know?
We try to. We really try to. We try to talk about what the listeners need to hear. Right. That's what we want to do. We want to make sure that the content and the things that we're talking about are useful for y'all.
Yeah.
We use our time to put together these. I was in office at 6:30 this morning because that's really the only time that I had to be able to record. But we do this to add value to y'all. But to help in that effort, we would appreciate feedback from y'all. That feedback is so valuable to us. So send us feedback. Let us know what you'd like Tyler to dissect, what you'd like myself and Dallas to dissect on those extended cuts. Send that stuff in because through that we can really hopefully help y'all even more than we are.
Side note.
Yeah.
I did a little poll, survey, question thing on my story.
Oh yeah.
That I forgot to share these with you of topics.
Yeah.
And I got a shitload for you.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll send them
over,
over, dude.
Yeah.
I forgot to share those.
Thank you.
So thank you all. And then obviously rate, share, review, everything that we got going on. All right, Jackson, what's a personal win, dude, as we dive into this thing?
As we dive in today, I was kind of reflecting back on some personal wins and a personal win that I had last night. I wanted to try to find something as recent as possible, but I had been procrastinating a really hard conversation that I needed to have with a loved one. I'd been procrastinating that hard conversation, and had that conversation in a way better than I could ever expect it. Right, and a lot of lessons learned through this experience. Marcus Aurelius talks about how he talks about anxiety a lot, and how a lot of times anxiety is something from outside. Like we think it's something from outside forces that's causing that anxiety, but truly it's us. Truly it's us, and it's inside of us that causes that. The phone call that I had with this loved one went fantastic. It couldn't have gone any better. And if anything, it strengthened our relationship. But what I realized through that is to have those hard conversations. Quit worrying about it. Quit worrying about so much of it. You create that anxiety and that worry more often than not. So just to dive straight into it and dive into that thing that was bothering me, and it had been weighing down on me for weeks now. And to finally have that conversation and kind of just get that off my shoulders has been amazing.
Good, dude.
So a challenge, and I guess personal win turned into a challenge to everybody, is have those hard conversations when they pop up. Totally. Don't procrastinate them. Don't wait for them. Just have them.
Yep.
Because chances are, like it happened with me, it actually bonded us and brought us closer together. So it was good.
Dude, and I believe that is what happens, man.
Every time.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
It's like that the challenge that we create in our own mind is so much harder than the challenge in the real world. Yeah, like the real challenge.
The reality of it.
Like, dude, people are phenomenal, man. People are great. People want to be better. People want to be their best. Mm-hmm. People don't want to let you down. But if you don't give them a chance, to let them, if you don't love them enough to let them know when something is happening, well, then you're the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And that's honestly what I found out yesterday. And like while I was having the phone call, I had that thought. Well, I was like, oh, geez, I am the one that's prolonged this. It's been me. Yeah. It's been me that's prolonged this and made this bigger deal than it was.
It makes you special, though, bro. I love that.
That inner, you got to look inward.
Introspective.
Yeah.
All right, man.
For you.
My personal win, loved going to, speaking of Zasha, she did her meetup just across the street there.
Yeah.
And I loved it, dude. It was fun. You know, we just don't get out to too many meetups here in Maui. And I was super impressed with how many people showed up. It was eye-opening
awesome
to me. And I love to connect and I love to be there with y'all. It was very fun. You know, a lot of the times I'll go to networking events and it's freaking
by yourself,
just rolling solo.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy that as much.
Which surprises me, and I think surprises a lot of people too.
Oh,
being the extrovert that you, I know.
Yeah.
It's one of those weaknesses that you have for sure.
But what happened there? Well, you guys are bringing people up to connect with me the whole damn time.
Introducing people to you, yeah.
But did you also notice what I did the minute I got there?
You walked straight over to Brandon Turner. He was there. So you
Brandon Turner and Ryan Murdoch. Listen, anytime I go into a networking event, I usually identify three things. I go in with purpose, man. Yeah. So 3 things that I want to achieve there. And Brandon and I had connected before. Ryan and I had connected before. Ryan Murdoch is Brandon's partner. And they're a wealth of knowledge, dude. So I just wanted to go connect with them. So walked straight up, right out the gates, connected with them, shot the shiz for a little bit, asked them a couple questions that I had. I love to learn.
Yeah.
I can definitely learn from people like that, that's for sure. And so I loved it. It was awesome. Very fun. So shout out to Zasha for putting it together. And for everybody that showed up there, man, it was great.
It was great. It was awesome. Shout out to Brandon Turner. He almost showed up last minute there too.
Yeah, they were supposed to have another guest, and then Brandon came in.
He came save the day. And the words he shared too were awesome.
Yeah,
he took a few minutes and shared some words about some things, and it was very, very impactful. So impactful that the very next day we were implementing some of the things he was talking about. Which was awesome.
Okay, but now, how are we implementing them? Because we were actually paying attention. We were taking notes. You know what I noticed while I was there? It's baffling to me, dude. I'm taking notes as he's speaking. Like, there's people that are like trying to like come up and, I don't know if you noticed this, but like come up and try to chat with me while he's speaking, which is just so rude as somebody speaking anyway.
Yeah.
But they're like trying to make a connection. You know, I get it. But dude, I'm taking notes. I mean, listen, I don't think that there's anybody else there that owns more real estate than Brandon. Like Brandon knows more than I do. Then I don't think anybody else there owns more than I do.
I don't think so either.
But I'm one of the only ones there taking notes. Mm-hmm. Why? Because, well, frick, man, that's one of the purposes going in, dude, to learn from people like that. It's crazy to me how many people just sit there and
you had those intentions set, dude.
Absolutely,
dude, it is crazy. It's crazy to me as well, dude. But that it's just a little sidebar and an action item off of that is that's what high level individuals do.
Yep.
Everywhere we go, dude, every meeting that we're in, I see you taking notes. I see Dallas taking notes. Do you take notes to remember these things and to be able to implement those things? So, dude, it's one of those things that high level people always do. So, just great actionable. Okay, dude, what are we talking about today? I know what we're talking about today.
What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about a day in the life of Tyler Deveraux.
Gosh, seems so pleasant. Let's talk about a day in the life.
Yeah.
Of TD.
It's not busy, is it?
No.
Give us a rundown.
It's productive.
Give us a
right,
rundown.
Nico? Anytime I say I'm so busy, Nico's like, you're super productive.
Yeah.
I'm like, God bless you.
Okay.
But I love those kind of things, right?
Yeah.
Those little correctors. So give you a rundown?
Yeah, give me a rundown. Give us a rundown of what a day in the life looks like for Ty Deveraux.
I'll tell you this. I believe that it'll probably surprise most people, maybe. I think.
Why?
I don't know. I think that people have this. I think that people envision multifamily investing, you know, somebody who's made a little bit of money and lives in Maui, that is just freaking, you just coasting, surfing, hiking, bumping up with dolphins in the ocean. And you know what? That's exactly what I do every fucking day. Dude, what do I do? So let's start with morning time, okay? So morning time, I've talked about my morning routine a ton, so, you know, it's probably this won't be a surprise, but I'm very intentional with my morning routine. That's where everything starts for me. I know that's how everything starts for you. And it's one of those topics that It's probably the most overtalked topic out there as far as personal development goes, but it's still the one that so many people just overlook. And I'm going to tell you, when I see my life not on the
upward trend.
Yeah, trending in the
trending
direction that I
upwards.
want to go. Thank you. Trend was the word. Trending in the direction I want to go. I look back at how I'm starting my day, and it's something that I've skimped or oversight or something with my morning routine. It's what it is. So, for example, I started to wake right up, go just like, wash my face, brush my teeth, and go straight to the gym and read in the car. But then guess what I realized was stopping to do?
I noticed you weren't doing that this week.
Nope.
Okay, so
not just this week. It's actually been a couple weeks.
Has it been?
now.
Okay.
Yeah, because I noticed.
I'm just usually already in the gym.
Yeah, easy. Because I noticed what I was doing is I was starting to procrastinate my gratitudes, my prayer, and my writing in my journal. And dude, that stuff is absolutely imperative to me in my growth. Yeah. And so wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, put my gym clothes on immediately. Rule is I cannot sit on the couch. I put my journal out on the counter the night before, open to the page, of the daily page with my pens on top. That's what I do. And the first thing I do is kneel down, say a prayer, gratitude. It's just a straight gratitude prayer, right? Then I write in my journal, man. My gratitude's there. Review. If I haven't written down my 3 targets for the day, I review. Or if I've written them down, I review. If I haven't written them all down, I finish writing them all down. That gives dude, it takes 5 minutes, man.
Dude, it does not take a long time.
No. But in my mind, I'm like, but that's why it's so easy to procrastinate, though. I'm like, well, I'll just do it when I get home from the gym, or I'll do it when I get in the office, and then what happens? It's noon, and I'm like, shit, forgot to do it,
Yeah.
So, dude, that's super important to me. So those personal things. Then I go to the gym, say my affirmations, read my goals out loud, those kind of things, okay? But I believe one of the most important parts of my morning routine is just connection with my family, like to connect with my family. So to have time to connect with Brittany. Like the other day, I was late to come work out, right? 5:30 is when I got there. Why was it 5:30?
Because you were with Britt.
Because I got a workout in before the workout. Connection! I love you, B. But then my workout was shitty. But you know what? I did some cardio before, so it's all comes full circle. Okay. Love you, B.
But regardless, the principle's there. You
absolutely.
You were a little bit late because you were connecting.
Connecting.
Family. Yeah. How did you come up with this morning routine, dude?
I love when you said connecting. You're like, you were connecting, and your lips are like, don't. Hey, but one more thing before I.
He can't just let it go. He can't just let me have it and be an adult and be mature about it. He's got to point it out.
My bad, bro. My bad. The other side of that, though, is connected with my kids.
Okay.
I like to wake my kids up. One thing that they know is that the first thing when they wake up, it's hugging a kiss. So I like to be back from the gym. I like to be back from the gym, showered before they wake up, so that then I can eat breakfast with them. I love eating breakfast with them. I love just chatting with them. I love, talking about their night.
Yeah.
And they're just, but I want to spend quality, literally time to connect. I don't ever answer my phone. My phone is non-existent in the morning, dude. Like at that time, non-existent. Yeah. It's not there because, dude, connection with my kids in the very, very beginning, my family is very important. Anyway, you said, how did I come up with it?
Yeah. How did you come up with this routine and why?
Dude, continually dialing in and figuring out what works and checking in. I think that's, but how do I come up with it? I mean, dude, mentors, Yeah. Dallas is mentor of mine. Dallas helps with morning routines and what his process is and how he does things. Yep. Hal Elrod has a book called The Miracle Morning. Have you ever read that? Gosh. A lot of my morning routine is from that.
From that?
Yep. Love that. But mentors, I'm learning from people
Say
all
it
the
one more time for the listeners.
Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod.
Okay.
Now, Hal's a stud, man. His story's awesome, but I got a lot of my routine from there. And then just, man, staying committed to the process of it, staying committed to the process of it. Because it's you're learning all the time what is working, and different things will work at different stages. I will also get bored with things. So if I keep the exact same routine, it'll just get boring. And the morning routine is all meant to make you your best self. So I have to switch it up from time to time too.
Yeah. So that's where I was going to go with it. It seems like it's pretty intense and you have the things that you want to do. So is it hard to maintain that now, or has it kind of become more muscle memory to be able to do those things?
I think it's all about perspective, but it's definitely hard. It's not muscle memory. That's for sure. Every damn morning when the alarm clock goes off at 4:15, every morning it's hard to just it is hard really until I walk out the door. Like it is. So no, dude, it's all perspective, right? So like short term, super hard because it's in that exact moment. I'm tired. It's dark. Nobody else is up. But listen, that's the whole point, dude. The whole point of that is to do hard things in the morning because that helps you understand that you can do hard things. But I'll tell you that short term sacrifice is way better than or easier than any long-term consequence of not making that sacrifice.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's what I think people need to realize.
Perspective
is having that perspective. Yeah, it's harder. It's hard to go to the gym. It's hard to have a morning routine, but your life's harder if you don't have one of those.
Totally.
You have to. Yeah. You have to. And I've seen that. I don't want to pretend like we haven't talked about this because we have talked about it. And I just want to plug in here for the morning routine, dude, and maintaining it and staying consistent to it.
Consistent
to it, dude. Like it is hard, dude. There's not a single morning where I wake up where it's not hard.
Totally.
But that's the good thing about it. That's the joy of it. Heard an Ed Milet quote, and he says he has a hard time doing hard things. Yeah. That's why he goes to the gym first thing in the morning. Yeah. That's why he gets up first thing. It's so you can just get in the habit of doing hard things.
Yep.
And the importance and the muscle memory that comes with being able to do hard things.
That's it.
So it's almost like it is almost a muscle memory. Because you know the hard thing's going to benefit you from something, you want to do it.
Totally. Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's what makes it easier is when you're staying consistent in the short term, you'll see a long-term benefit in the long term, whatever long-term means to you, right? But if you've never done that, then you don't have that history to pull from. But so what do you have to do? That's why it's so hard to start. It's way easier for me to correct now because I know what it provides. But in the beginning, you have to try things and do things consistently to be able to see the result, right?
Yep.
Most people don't get there.
No.
They just don't get there. So
it took me 5 days to start seeing the results. 5 days.
That's it.
I
mean, shit.
I think that's super underlooked.
Yeah.
And like overlooked is what I meant to say. It doesn't take that long to like start seeing the benefits of having a solid routine.
But how do you see the benefits?
By tracking it. By looking at it, by reviewing it and looking to see if it actually is benefiting you, dude. I love the morning routine and how I came up with my morning routine. It was a process for me.
Yeah.
It's experimenting, figuring out what works for me. What works for me doesn't necessarily work for Ty. What works for Ty doesn't necessarily work for me.
Yep.
But it's experimenting, figuring out what works for you and tracking that, paying attention to that. Don't just do it to do it. Do it to gain those benefits of it for sure.
And I want to explain this too. Some people think experiment means like I'm going to try it 1 time, 2 times. No, experiment means I'm going to try it for X amount of time, like a chunk of time, dude. Like give yourself some fucking data to pull from, right?
Yep.
Anyway, but then you tie it into long-term experience, dude. Just remember what you're working towards. Like I'm working towards my why, right? Like to make an impact, to experience life, and that helps me do that. And then I look at an even longer perspective. Bro, I've probably talked about this too, but I think about my death all the time. Like how I'll be remembered at my funeral all the time. Not in a morbid way, but I do that because it brings things into perspective, you know? Like I'll say this. I don't think about how sad, will people be sad or will I don't think about that. I don't. I think about the impact that I will have had at that point. But then perspective is this. Perspective is really identifying that. Like this is an actionable. Like if you truly identify like what is the impact that you want to have when you pass away? What's that impact that you want to leave on the world, right? And then you look at that and then you say, okay, now perspective is this. If I were to die today, how would I be remembered if I died today? What was the impact that I died today? Then you identify the gap between those 2 images, and that should motivate the shit out of you to go build your legacy.
Exactly.
And get the hell out of bed, right? Anyway.
That let alone will get you out of bed.
Yep.
That let alone can get you out of bed if you let it, for sure. It's one thing that I live by, memento mori. Yeah. The moment of death, having that constantly on your mind. If you were to drop dead right now,
yep.
Are you okay with how you left things?
Yeah.
Are you okay with what you did this morning? Are you okay? Like, are you happy that was your last morning?
The morning that I was late, I would be. Like, yes.
But you know what I mean? Like, are you happy with how you were living your life and doing the things you were doing? Okay, dude. So we talked about the morning. That's your morning routine. Thank you for going over that. Super important. And again, I challenge everybody and encourage everybody to set up a morning routine. What about your typical day? What does your typical day / week look like?
This, I think, where people will, I mean, this is more the part where I just don't think people really grasp. Or maybe they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, shit. It's all perspective. It's all what I think, right?
Yeah, sure.
But, dude, I work. It's a lot of hard work, dude. A lot of long hours, hard work. Productive. Like, dude, meetings. We run two big companies with a bunch of them, different team members within those companies and different partners within those companies. So meetings on, strategy and growth and, dude, scaling a business, man. Scaling a business is, we have grown rapidly, and with growth also comes, changes and problems. And, as you grow and you scale, like the systems that worked yesterday aren't going to work today. Obviously a bigger span, but like the things that got you to where you are aren't going to get you to where you're going. And so you're always checking in on those things. And the more that you're growing, you're going to start identifying problems, things that are holding you back, things that are and foresee those problems. So, dude, lots of just long freaking hours, lots to be accomplished, lots to do. So, what's in it, just the challenges of growth, I'll harp on this, is the things that I used to do. Well, dude, it's kind of what I just said. Like the things that got me to where I'm at aren't going to get me to where I'm going. So the things that I used to do are not the same things that I do now. Right? Like, it's interesting. I was talking to Rich Summers, Rich was out here. We went to dinner, and I was like,
shout out Rich Summers. What's his podcast? Let's plug it really quick.
I think it's called the Rich Summers Podcast.
I think so.
It's brand new that he just rolling out. He had been on the Multifamily Takeoff. That's where I met him. That podcast, great podcast. And now he started his own.
Awesome.
And I was telling him, I was like, man, I used to have to go to these properties because I had to be at the properties, dude. I had to be at the properties to see, touch what we're like. I was doing everything,
flying all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to be at the properties, but I have to be at the properties so people see me at the properties. It's not that I really have to go there. I have team members who freaking do and are better than I am at those things, but I do still have to go so people see me there, so that I can record content there, so that I can teach there, so that I can so that I can have FaceTime with team. It's interesting, It's just a different thing. But I've never had like a 9-to-5 job in my life, like for real. Or if I have, it's like not for a long time, like very short lived. And not that I do a 9-to-5 now, I do way fucking more than 9-to-5. Because what am I doing? I'm always working on the business, always growing, always like. That's what it is. So my day is chock full of a lot of that stuff. Meeting with team members, on meetings, strategy, thinking through that kind of stuff, creating different types of learning content for our students, creating different systems for employees, helping employees create systems for their teams. It's like, it's just different, and different doesn't mean bad, but different is just different. Yeah. There is, which I always want that though. Like the things that anytime I start getting to a point where I just feel super comfortable in a role or responsibility, or it's when I know that I need to delegate that and do something different. That's where growth happens. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So that's what I try to do. But with that, dude, I gotta throughout the day, like I have to take some breaks throughout the day.
Yeah.
Because once again, it's quality that you're putting in, not just this quantity, right? So it's this quality. So you'll see me meditate throughout the day. Mm-hmm. You'll see me just leave the office sometimes, and I'll just literally sometimes I just go stand. You do this too, huh?
Oh yeah.
Just go stand outside in the sun.
Oh yeah. I do that just a couple times a day.
There is something reinvigorating about the sun.
Yeah.
There it is. Sometimes I'll take a call and I'll just jump in the truck, and I know it's just a call that I don't have to be on a Zoom. I'll take that call and I'll just go park down by the beach. Take the call down by the beach. Why? Because that's energizing. How have I found those kind of things? Because I'm always looking for ways to make sure that I'm still bringing purpose and meaning into the day, right?
Right.
And then just disconnecting, sometimes I'll put breathing is big. Like I've really been trying to focus on my breathing as of late too. Just these breaks throughout.
Yeah.
And then my headphones, like I'll throw my headphones on. Sometimes I don't have shit playing on my headphones, but those noise canceling headphones, it's just silence, which really helps me hone in. It's my day. Just a lot of long hours, dude. A lot of we grind, man. I'm busy making active income so I can invest it passively.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
My whole goal is I making money actively so I can continue to just invest more and more passively. people think that we've created wealth through the active things that we've done within our companies. That's never how you create wealth. You create wealth through taking that active income and turning it into passive income.
Exactly.
I'm obsessed with it, dude.
Yeah.
So.
You're in the right space to definitely be obsessed with
Absolutely.
it, for sure. Okay, dude, so where do you fit in family time? How do you prioritize family time? And I know we've talked about balancing work, life, family, and I don't want to ask that question again. How do you balance work and family? But, dude, I think it's important for everybody to know, how do you prioritize that family time, and what does that look like?
Well, dude, I am, let me tell you a strength and a weakness, okay? A strength of mine is I love to work. I love to work. I love to work hard. I don't, when I'm in here in the office working long hours and I leave at 9 p.m. or whatever it is, not that that's every day, but there are days like that. Yeah. Or I get in early, right? Like I'm still trying to beat your ass in the office, but man, gosh damn.
This morning was exceptionally early. It was definitely really early this morning.
But I'll be honest, I don't go in there and be like, oh, I mean, whatever. Sometimes maybe there's those days, but it's not really, dude. It's like, I enjoy moving the needle. I enjoy putting in the work. So that's a strength, okay? But a weakness is that, sometimes it's I can let that, I can get just hyper focused on something like work. And Brittany is so great for me because Brittany would be like, hey, remember we got to do this. Remember this. And this is where this comes in. So that same strength, your same strength, whoever you are out there, your same superpower is also a form of weakness. Now you need to understand how to leverage that superpower and make sure that you have people keeping you in check so that it's not a weakness in these other areas. It's just powerful. But in order for you to really make sure that you're not blindsided by the weakness of it, you have to be open to feedback. You have to be open to other people telling you those kind of things. I can get so freaking hyper-focused in a direction because I know that people will keep me in check, loved ones that will keep me in check. But one thing that was huge for me, what I was doing is I was scheduling all my work stuff and then fitting in my family stuff. Well, Inky Johnson, this is something I learned from Inky Johnson, which, by the way, Inky Johnson will be one of our keynote speakers at Peak Partnership, and I'm absolutely ecstatic about that. I love Inky Johnson. If you don't know who he is, you need to go look him up. Absolute stud.
And then get a ticket for Peak Partnership to see him live.
Yeah, if you don't have a ticket for Peak Partnership, get a damn ticket for Peak Partnership, for God's sakes.
Yep.
But he said that if I were to ask you what your number one priority is, he was saying this, if somebody were to ask me what my number one priority was, I would say my family. Well, really how you tell somebody's priorities are by their actions. And so even though verbally I'm saying my family, my actions were saying differently because he was doing what I was doing. Dude, he was scheduling work and then fitting family time in. And what he realized is that even though he's saying to his family they're his number one priority, his actions are saying differently. And so they don't feel like the priority. So he's like, so what I had to do and started to do, it's had a huge impact, is I started to schedule my family things and then fit my work stuff in around those. So I schedule my family time first. Like think about how morning routine that we just started out.
Yeah.
Family. Well, I do my personal stuff, but then family. And then so things like date nights.
Strategic, dude. It's all strategic.
That's it. Because there is time for everything. Well, the most important things, if you are strategic.
Right.
So I schedule date nights. I schedule, football just ended, but I schedule football practice on there. And then I work things in around, right? So schedule my family time, then schedule the work stuff around that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. What kind of impact has that had on you and your relationship with your family since being able to do that?
Very good, man. It's been super good.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's because I can even though I'm a great provider and I know I'm a great provider, that obsessive personality I guess that I have sometimes can also be a stress sometimes.
Yeah.
And Brittany is her superpower. She is so supportive that sometimes that can be a weakness because she doesn't tell me about my weakness. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm so grateful when she is like, hey, but do you know what we realize though? This is what we realize by having healthy conversations. To truly be supportive is, yes, let me go full force, but also to know what my number one priority is. Dude, I want to be the best freaking dad and husband I can be.
Right.
The biggest impact that I can make on this earth, that I should make on this earth, is within the walls of my own home. The only way that I'm going to be able to make an impact outside the walls of my own home if I make a huge impact on the walls inside those individuals within my home, right?
Yeah.
So I have to do that. And she knows that. We have these conversations. And so now she doesn't look at it as not supportive to tell me I need to go take a date night with the kids. She realizes that it's absolutely the most supportive thing she could do.
It's actually the most important thing that she could do.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we talked about strategy.
Yep.
We talked about strategy and kind of, right, we kind of talk about work-life, family balance. And we threw the word strategy in there. You're strategic about it. This isn't one of the questions that we had prepared, but I wanted to ask you as we kind of wrap up here. We're coming up on time. Is how do you go about being strategic with your family time? What does family time look like to you?
Very present. So I'll say a couple things. You have to find ways to combine work and fun, right? So what's because can I take it not only from family but by balance with work, how to make work fun and how to bring things all together.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Which does involve family.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
is just combine it, and the reason I want to go there is because this team that I have here, I'm so grateful. We just talked about this because we were just in Kauai. That's a win. We were just in Kauai as a team. We were so we traveled together as a team to celebrate my birthday to Kauai, and we just disconnected.
It was so much fun.
But think about how amazing that is, because did we still get some work done while we were there?
100%.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't stop.
No, but what's cool is when you're able to create a team like this of people that you actually just thoroughly enjoy being around. That's how blessed are we to be able to be surrounded by be able to not feel like I want to get out of this environment with those I work with, but dude, I want to, that's who I love to have fun with.
Like on our free time, we even spent time with each other.
Totally.
Yeah,
I'm grateful for that, man. So dude, surround yourself with people that you enjoy. And then listen, also find your area of genius, because if you really find your area of genius, that should be able to allow for work and fun. So when I say everything is, you can do everything, well, and then I say the most important things, I mean your area of genius. Like, dude, so many people are just busy doing shit that doesn't really move the needle. But you know what it does do? It makes them feel comfortable because they're comfortable with what they are doing there. So instead of removing that shit and really forcing themselves to grow in other directions that would really move the needle, well, they don't move the needle because they're just bogged down by all this shit. Right, so they can't do this work-fun balance. Anyway,
no, it's super, super important. I couldn't agree with you more, dude. And I think it's a special thing and something that everybody should be looking for all of the time.
Yeah,
to create that happiness in life, dude. You got to be able to have fun.
Yeah,
doing everything
and truly 100%. Check into it.
Yeah,
what are your standards, man? Check into those. Are you living up to those?
Yeah,
and then just communication and support with Britt. Like Britt is, if you're a spouse listening to this, or any sort of a partner listening to this, first off, Brittany is so supportive, because we'll go like this, okay? So I would highly suggest that when you're playing the supportive role, to really understand how to play the supportive role. So, but if you're on the other side of that, like let's say me and Britt, I have to communicate so that Britt can support. So for example, it's like, hey Britt, I'm about to go, I'm about to be gone for about 2 weeks, man. I'm leaving from here, going to California, doing some podcast interviews with another keynote, Emily Ford, who will be at Peak Partnership, which if you don't follow her, you need to look her up. She's a freaking rock star. Yep. She'll be at Peak Partnership. I'm going straight from there to teach a class in Phoenix. I'm going straight from there to do a leadership retreat with our leadership team in Orlando. Then from there, we have our Christmas party in Orlando. Then we have our office launch opening in Orlando, where all of our team members are coming in to celebrate. Which I'm very excited to unveil the new office and show you all the new office. It's freaking tits. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Good. Dallas said that today. That's how you say it. Dallas said, oh, man, that's titties. And I was like, nope. I think it's called tit. Titties is a little too aggressive, Dal. Tits. Maybe that's aggressive, too. It's bitching.
There you go. Okay? There you go.
But then from there, after that, then we have a planning meeting with MFCP. Then I'm going to meet with Jake Dean, James McCabe, hopefully Todd Miller, and we're going to train on speaking. I'm going to train them on speaking. And then I fly home. On the 13th, on the 14th, maybe the 15th. Well, I fly home on the 13th, but then I think on the 14th or 15th, I go to Oahu, teach another 3-day class, and then I come home to Maui, couple days to get things back in order, and then guess what? So think about all that time just fucking grinding hard, dude. And then I go spend 2 weeks plus with my family on a Disney cruise. So how do you do it? You really communicate. Hey, I'm about to go gangbusters here, but then I can go full force into family here, right?
Right.
And you communicate that, and you make sure that you're on the same page there, and it makes it a lot easier.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Communication, that's one thing that I've seen big time play a role in that work-life balance and life-work balance, whatever, is that communication. Just making sure everybody's on board. Dude, and work hard enough that you freaking deserve vacations. I think people take vacations. So many of you are out there, you're taking a vacation, but you haven't earned that vacation. You're just taking a vacation because you feel like you should take a vacation. No, dude, you haven't earned that vacation. So what does that do? Instead of helping you disconnect or reconnect to move the needle, well, your needle's still flopping around like a limp D, okay? Which I know nothing about. Love you, Britt. Listen, man, you got to earn that son of a bitch, dude. You do.
Good gods, man.
do.
Work so hard that people fucking force you to take a vacation.
Yeah.
Brittany literally helps me, forces me to disconnect, reconnect, because and so do you guys. Like, my team members will be like, bro, do not answer your phone on this vacation. Do not. Why? Because they've seen me put in the work, and they respect that I need some time to disconnect.
Yep.
But you're just out there putting in, maybe you're even putting in some work, but dude, you haven't earned the ability to disconnect, man. Go freaking put in the work and earn it. And then another thing is to just understand quantity of time versus quality of time. Dude, being present, be present. Like, it's not about the time, the amount of time that you spend, it's the quality of the time that is spent. Like, people are so stressed about the amount of time that they spend with family that the time that they spend is stressed. So they focus on quantity. They focus so much on quantity that they sacrifice quality.
Yep.
They're so worried about being to every single thing that they aren't fully present at freaking anything. So my advice, tips, hacks, to put your freaking phone down. Connect with your kids. Be present. Or connect with your spouse. Be present. Connect with wherever you're at. Be present, dude. To be quality at anything, you have to spend quality time at whatever that thing is. Most people aren't even close to quality, which is why they don't get quality results. You got to think bigger. I'll just tell you, I'm driving home from Pax's football game, so last Saturday, and I want to be present, dude. It's really something that is very important to me, okay? I'm at a boot camp, a 3-day class teaching, and Jake Dean comes up to me and says, shout out to Jake Dean, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Jake Dean.
Jake Dean's going, a number of you know who Jake Dean is. Jake Dean.
He just posted about it, so you can talk
No,
about
I know. Yeah, that is why I'm talking about it. Yeah. But diagnosed with cancer and just had his surgery yesterday. And when this drops, it'll be after that.
Yeah.
And is on the recovery track. And I'll tell you, I freaking love that guy. And so just remember that dude in your prayers as well.
Definitely.
But he comes up, he's like, dude, what have you studied to be so present? I see you up there speaking with people and you're so present. Like, you're just locked in on them. You have this whole line of people waiting to chat, but you're just locked in on that one person. And then the next person that comes, you're locked in on them. And I was like, well, first off, thank you. That is a huge compliment.
Yeah.
And I said, it's just a focus. It's an intention that I have. And I know that if I'm locked in here, that person's going to feel that. But that other person here is also going to see that I am fully engaged and present here. So they know that when they get their turn, I'm also going to be fully present with them, which makes them patient. They're not antsy over here. They're patient because they know that they're going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's important. So I want to be present. But then from that same trip, bro, I fly home and I'm talking with Britt in the car and it's a long flight. I'm exhausted. I don't feel well. And I'm anything but present. I'm not present. But I have this catch myself in error-ridden thinking, and I'm like, oh my, dude, I am right now not present with the most important people to be present to.
Right.
So it's really dialing that in. So I make it a focus, man. I'm driving Pax home from his football game the other day. And, dude, I just asked him questions and just really spent time to connect with that kid. And we laughed. Bro, I have to show you some videos because I then just took my phone and propped it up as we're having these conversations because I just wanted to remember it forever.
I love it, dude.
And we just laughed like the whole way, just belly ripping laughs.
That's awesome.
That drives 20 minutes. That 20 minutes spent, quality 20 minutes spent, is way more productive than 3 hours of me being there but not really being there.
All right, being on your phone the whole time.
So how do you manage it, dude? Yeah, understand quantity versus quality.
Yeah.
Right?
And taking advantage of those moments that you do have.
Yeah.
Would have been very easy for you just to drive home, turn on some music in the truck and drive home.
Yep.
But you saw an opportunity to be able to connect with Paxton and have some time with him, and you took advantage of that.
That's it.
That's one of the things that I have to realize too with the work-life balance is you have to realize the moments that you do have with your family. You know what I mean? You have to take advantage of those. That's awesome. It's awesome.
You know what, bro? I'm a better dad and a way better husband when I'm fucking crushing it at work.
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, absolutely.
And what had I just come home from before that game? Disconnecting with y'all out in Kauai so that I could reconnect in every area of my life. But I'm telling you, I'm better at everything when I'm fucking crushing it at work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So much to learn in this episode, Tyler. Thank you. Thank you for breaking down your day in the life with you. Day in the life of
Tyler
Deveraux. No, thank you, dude. So much to be learned here, and so many actionables that can be pulled out of this episode. So thank you. Any closing thoughts, closing statements, and then obviously we want to end with a Hawaiian value.
No, man, just appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for sure. Thank you so much for all sharing, and dude, that's why we do all this stuff, man. We want to connect with as many people as possible. So, man, thank you for sharing them and continue to share. But I'm grateful for that. It's recognizable, very noticeable. We see it. We appreciate y'all. I'm grateful, so damn grateful to have a platform that people will actually spend the time listening and want to listen. It makes me really bring intention to be present when we're doing these. Right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Dude,
shit.
Thank you.
Yeah,
dude. Thank you for the time and effort and energy that you put into these, dude. So valuable.
You too, man.
I'm a lucky bystander that gets to benefit
That's
from this.
not it.
From benefit
That's
from these.
not
So
it.
thank you. A Hawaiian value, dude. I know you wanted to talk about kuleana today. Kuleana.
Kuleana is it's like responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And it's just this. I mentioned what are your values, right? What are your values? What's the word I'm looking for? Geez.
Your character?
It is pretty much your character, like it is like, what are you trying to hold yourself to? It's just, is this code for holding yourself accountable to belief as you're seeking personal improvement, to just who you are as a person, and this responsibility, this kuleana to yourself to continue to grow as a person, to be able to grow as a husband, to be able to grow as a parent, to be able to grow as a business owner, to be able to grow as a real meaningful person of society. That's your kuleana. That's your responsibility, all of ours. So what does your day-to-day life look like? What's your kuleana? What are your standards is one that I was looking for. What are your standards? What are your values that you're supposed to live up to? And are you doing that? And if you're not, well, man, take that more seriously, man. Because when you die, people are either going to talk about the impact that you've made or the absolute asshole loser that you were. No, just kidding. Yeah, so kuleana, man. That responsibility to go freaking grow your life and the life of others.
Yeah, awesome. Tyler, thank you, man. Thank you so much for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to the Growth Cast on this Aloha Friday. Please, again, don't forget to share, review, and like today's episode.
And then always live with, let's say it on 3. Aloha. Peace.